On Monday here in the Mashofsky Center, the Ducks went back to work after their 44-21 win over Utah. Of course, much of the conversation after today's practice with head coach Mark Helfrich revolved around the USC win over Stanford and how Oregon now controls its own destiny to the Pac-12 championship and a possible berth in the Rose Bowl.
We talked about kind of the same thing we talked about the week before of the stuff that we can control, and we talk a lot about just the review of what happened, and then kind of the preview of coming attractions in terms of Kadeem Carey and everything that Arizona represents. I mean, obviously our guys know that what happened, and again, it's further evidence to handle our business.
How big of a deal is that, though, to be able to have the opportunity to win a Pac-12 championship for you?
Well, again, we have to win this week. We have to take care of today, and if we don't, something happens. That's if we don't know that after the last couple of weeks, then we need to refresh our course.
A little more of a positive vibe this Monday compared to last Monday, or much different?
I think it was very similar. I think, and we talked about that too. You have to be able to flush a win, and you have to be able to flush a loss. And our guys have been, really good at flushing wins, and we don't want to be great at flushing losses. We'd like to be good at flushing a loss. And from that standpoint, I thought we had really good energy. And then we need to come back and have a really physical next couple days to get ready for Arizona.
How closely were you able to watch that game, the USC Stanford game?
I saw parts of it. I saw the end of it.
Is it frustrating to see Stanford be so inconsistent?
We've moved on. We're worried about us.
Any similarities between Arizona and Utah in terms of being a team that's close in a lot of games, close to being really, really good?
A similarity, yeah. I mean, they had a bunch of self-inflicted wounds last week. Had a couple drops. They dropped the snap on the punt. Just had a bunch of missed opportunities that I know that they'll, are quick fix type things, and they're very physical. It's a different type of scheme than Utah, but a very physical veteran defense from that side. And then offensively, they're just kind of getting better and better. And this was an anomaly this week of kind of just how they were operating. But the quarterback's playing better. Carey's doing his deal.
Mark, they have some big guys on up front on the offensive line. Two guys who are 6'8", I believe. They got a big they're on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Talk about them if you would. Just
yeah, they're huge. We don't want to get into a basketball game. DeForest would help us out, but they're big. And they're again, I think they're molding their scheme as the year's gone on to play both to the quarterback strengths and then to what they do up front the best, and they're playing more efficiently.
Mark, what goes into defining a successful season for you guys?
I don't know. We'll think about that at the end.
Yeah.
Literally getting better every day, and that's everybody thinks that's the dumbest answer, but for us to we talk about ascending, and that happens on the field, off the field, and it's a daily thing.
Mark, I'm curious. The guys on ESPN yesterday, Pollock and Jesse Palmer, said that their impressions were that this team was regressing. What do you make of that? That's exactly what they said, that this team's regressing.
I mean, like I said the other night, if we don't win 82-0, something's wrong, and they're right. Something is wrong, and something's right if we do win 82-0. There's things that we can fix, but it's hard to win every football game, and I think if you look around the country, there's not 50 undefeated teams. And a lot of those teams that are up there now weren't there last year, the year before, or for the last 5-10 years. I don't think we're regressing in any way. Can we play better? Absolutely. And our guys came out committed to doing that today. Utah's been in a bunch of games, has beaten some quality teams, and that's kind of where we are. When we were up 44-14 before all the subs went in, and to be up 44-14 in a conference game, is not good enough. But other teams will grind out a win, and they're workmanlike, so somewhere in between.
Do you think you guys kind of a victim of your own success?
Well, I think there's certainly a little bit of an unfair standard, but that's what's that?
And mythology. Victim of your own mythology.
Mythology?
Mythology? That you guys win every game by 60, which is not
right.
Oh yeah, okay.
Didn't mean to.
No, I didn't. I didn't know.
She went deep.
No, I like it. Yeah, I mean it's every week in this conference, with very few exceptions, is a dogfight, and a lot of guys we know from recruiting them, or how the crossover works. A win at this stage is a win.
It's too much being made then of the lack of the running game these last couple weeks. I mean, you face some big fronts.
Right. Yeah, and that's always the kickoff return for a touchdown is a however many yard possession for a touchdown, and we're not gonna give that back so we can run for 86 yards and another touchdown. It's one of those things that if we get a pick six, we'll take that, and that's going to take away a possession, but we'll take the points and the win and move on.
Now, there's still a lot of football yet to be played. Oregon takes to the road this weekend. The Ducks travel to Tucson to take on an Arizona team that lost to Washington State over the weekend. In the Mashowski Center covering the Oregon Ducks, I'm Warren Williamson for Oregon Duck Football News.